It's time to redraft the 2021 NFL draft class. Y'all seem to enjoy my way too early 2022 redraft, so let's jump backwards a year and see where the top 15 players would have ended up if they were drafted today. If you enjoy this kind of content, give it a like, and if we hit 25 likes, then I'll do the 2020 redraft. I appreciate you being here and would love if you'd consider hitting that subscribe button as well. Let's get into it. For this redraft, we are assuming that somehow the teams have all the information they have now with their current roster, and this redraft allows them to immediately acquire the player they drafted that position while losing the player they originally drafted if they swap. The Jaguars have the first overall pick, and I believe they would stick with Trevor Lawrence. It was a rough first year, but I wholeheartedly blame it on lack of talent around him and the terrible coaching. Lawrence has figured it out, and having Doug Peterson as his head coach should help him continue to grow. Travis Etienne is back, and adding Christian Kirk helped him as well. With the second overall pick, the Jets are going to stick with Wilson. It was touch and go there for a minute, but Robert Saleh and his staff have put together a really good team. The defense and offense complement each other, and Wilson is taking care of the ball, hitting his stud rookie wide receiver consistently and beating good teams. It was close between keeping Wilson or going with the guy that I'm picking next. And with that third pick, the 49ers are going to switch it up. They still needed a quarterback, and they're going to switch to Justin Fields. Fields has found his stride, literally. He just broke the single-game record for rushing by a quarterback. He's been incredible in play-action scenarios, and now that he's getting the ball out quickly, he's taking fewer sacks. I believe the Niners would swap Lance for Fields pretty quickly if they were given the opportunity. The Falcons are in at number 4, and they're going to sprint to the podium and take Jamar Chase. He's the best wide receiver in the class, and Kyle Pitts just hasn't been as productive this season as people hoped. I, for one, think it's due to offensive scheme and quarterback play, but for whatever reason, he hasn't found the end zone very often in his first 2 years. Chase, on the other hand, has been dancing in end zones almost every week. At number 5, we have the Bengals, who are probably very sad that Chase just got selected, so they'll take the next best wide receiver in the class in Jalen Waddle. The Penguin comes to Cincinnati and probably puts up very similar numbers to Chase. He relies a little more on his speed than Chase, but I think he'd be highly productive in the Bengals offense with his complementary weapons around him. The Dolphins missed out on almost all the skill positions worth drafting, so I'm going to say they would draft Rashawn Slater. If they don't have Waddle, I don't see another wide receiver worth taking this high. I think they need offensive line help to continue to improve the run game and protect Tua. Slater has been rock solid at left tackle and would be an immediate upgrade. The Lions are up at 7, and this is a tough one. Penei Sewell has been rock solid for them, but their defense is awful. So I'm going to switch this pick to the other side of the ball and grab Micah Parsons. Pairing him with Aiden Hutchinson will likely give them the best 1-2 combo in the league for several years. I debated one of the stud corners, but think Micah makes a bigger impact on every down. At number 8, the Panthers have lucked into a perfect position. They can keep J.C. Horn, who has been outstanding for them, or they can switch their pick to Patrick Surtain to fill the same position of need. I know the Panthers love Horn, but to me Surtain is just better. He's a true lockdown corner and cuts off half the field, so the Panthers are going to switch in this redraft. On to the 9th pick. The Broncos are out of luck as Surtain just got taken. To me, they either take Horn, Sewell, or Kyle Pitts. I think their offense needs help desperately, so I'm going to have them take Pitts. He's both a security blanket and a deep threat for Russell Wilson. Maybe they can do something with him. I wouldn't be upset if you would go with either of the other players mentioned in this spot, though. At number 10, the Eagles are going to keep their trading up spot and keep Devonta Smith. He's really good in this offense opposite of A.J. Brown and just makes the most sense here. With the 11th pick in the 2021 redraft, the Chicago Bears are without a quarterback, but there's nobody worth taking in my opinion. They might take a chance on Trey Lance if he were healthy, but we just don't know what he can be. Here, they're going to draft Penei Sewell so that when they draft their quarterback of the future next year, he's got someone to protect his blind side. At number 12, the Cowboys are on the clock. Micah Parsons is gone, so they're going to draft Jerry Jones' favorite position. Amon-Ra St. Brown becomes a Cowboy. I think he's proven himself to be a top 25 kind of guy in the league right now, and he'd be perfect on this Cowboys offense. It would free up CeeDee Lamb more often, and St. Brown can play just about anywhere on the field. On to the 13th pick and the Chargers. They lost Rashawn Slater and Penei Sewell is not available. To me, it has to be J.C. Horn. Not for need necessarily, but he's just flat out the best player on the board right now. J.C. Jackson hasn't been worth the contract at this point, so it can't hurt to have more talent in the secondary. The Jets are back up at 14, and they're going to draft Creed Humphrey. Humphrey has become one of the best centers in the league while in Kansas City. I know Patrick Mahomes can make his O-line look good at times, but he's also a true road grader in the run game. He'd be a big upgrade for Zach Wilson and crew. The last pick I'll be doing in this redraft is number 15, going to the Patriots. I think it's safe to say they won't be taking Mac Jones. I think Belichick still wants his quarterback, though. I think Davis Mills or Trey Lance makes a lot of sense here. Davis Mills fits the New England mold a little bit more, though, so we're going to have him go here. I think he's an upgrade over Mac Jones at this point in their careers, but let me know what you think. Thanks so much for watching. If you made it this far, I just want to ask you again if you'd consider subscribing. We're almost at 500. Thanks again, and I'll see y'all next time.